Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana today. You're going to be seeing this on Friday, April the 8th. It is another episode number 21 of Explore the Card. We are talking today about the 1997 Metal Universe Championship Galaxy number 1 insert featuring, of course, Michael Jordan, as we feature in all of these Explore the Card episodes. But before we start, I wanted to show you this. So I just got these in. I don't know if you guys can see this on my screen, but some good Cajun Cardboard swag here. So I will be wearing this shirt for most of my videos. I don't want you to think I only have one. I ordered 100 of them. They are for sale just to try to get some of my money back. I think they're going to be $30 each. If you guys are interested in one, again, just message me on Instagram or Facebook if you don't mind. It's Cajun Cardboard. I'm real easy to find. I've sent a couple to a couple of my friends in the hobby, and just wanted to give some patronage to a good friend of mine, Mike. He is a big-time Jordan collector in a group chat that I'm a part of, and he is also the same guy. He's with Homage, HOMAGE.com. If you're looking to get t-shirts printed or swag or anything like that, I highly recommend these guys. This shirt, I just took it out of the box, put it on, and it fits like a glove. You guys know those kind of retro shirts with that real stretchy, like you can feel that real stretchy fabric. You put it on, it feels fantastic. This shirt's one of those. I'm not going to take too much more time. Homage, HOMAGE.com. If you're interested in a shirt, just DM me and we'll talk through it and I'll mail one out to you. But anyway, let's get cranking. So we'll switch over here. We're talking again about this, about the Jordan Metal Universe Championship Galaxy. Last week in episode number 20, we talked about the world famous top probably 5 insert in existence, the Jambalaya die cut from EX 2001, but today we're talking about the Championship Galaxy. As always, we like to start by looking at the set that the insert emanates from. And so I've got pulled up on your screen here the trading card database, which is, my site du jour when I'm trying to find out information about the sets, the base set. This set has 98 players. There's only 100 cards in the set. This followed closely after the 1997 Metal Universe. They called it the 1997 Metal Universe Series 1. So I think it can be somewhat misleading because people may think that the Metal Universe Championship is actually Series 2, but it's not. It is a totally separate and distinct standalone set. There are 100 cards in the set, 98 players, 2 checklists. It is not Series 2 to the Metal Universe. It is a standalone set. There is a much bigger emphasis on rookie cards in this championship set. Almost a quarter of the cards of the 98 players are rookie cards. Unfortunately, while it looked very promising for the rookies in that class, a couple of guys come to mind, like, Chauncey Billups panned out. Van Horn, to some extent. Bobby Jackson was super hot for a while there. Fortin had a bunch of hype coming out of Cincinnati in college. Antonio Daniels is a great broadcaster. He actually calls the Pelicans games. But Tracy McGrady and Tim Duncan ended up being the absolute animals of that class. Fantastic players. Tracy McGrady twice led the league in scoring. Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time. I'm looking through here. Bubba Wells, Maurice Taylor, Kelvin Cato. Ron Mercer had a lot of hype behind him and got off to a decent start with the Celtics and then kind of fizzled. But really, Billups, I guess, would be probably third in line as far as those rookies go, with Van Horn, right on his tail. But Billups a clear-cut third. Mr. Big Shot, I think they called him. He's a great example of why ultramodern prospecting, you need to be patient, fellas, because Billups did not explode out of the gates. I know he was a Nugget. I know he was a Celtic. He did not get along well with management or his teammates or his coaches, and eventually he found the right home in Detroit and just became an absolute animal and a foundational piece for what ended up being a championship team in the city of Detroit. Anyway, getting back to it, championship is, the Metal Universe Championship from 97's more of a traditional foil. So it's not the etched foil like the 1997. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Jordan here for you because I always like to look at the Jordan base card from these sets. We're going to look at the more expensive, more pricey insert, the Championship Galaxy. But here's a little quick glimpse of the base card. It's really cool with Jordan flying through the air with the mailman. Again, the mailman's always on Jordan's heels. Always arrives at the party a little bit late as Jordan's about to poke this one on him. But Jordan's soaring through the skyline behind him of Chicago. It's a pretty bad example here, so you can't really tell. But here's a glimpse at the back of the card right here. Not coincidentally, Jordan is card number 23 of the set. This card that you're seeing right here on your screen, the base card, is only a pop 64, which again is a very low pop for a base card. It is about $800 in PSA 10. It had hit much higher. I think it hit $1,800 during the 2021 first quarter spike, but the card's about $800. The last sold, I think, was $799.99. It is only a pop 64. It feels almost like an insert. It's just not your typical normal base card. It is foil. It is good looking. It's really visually appealing for a base card. It doesn't look like your run-of-the-mill base card. There's 5 insert sets. So let me get out of here real quick and we'll pull up those insert sets in Trading Card Database. You just click insert and related sets. There they are on your screen. You've got the All Millennium team, which does feature Jordan. You've got the Championship Galaxy, which obviously features Jordan because we're talking about it today. We got Future Champions. We got Hardware, which features Jordan. And then we got Trophy Case. So those are your 5, in order of the most recognizable. It's certainly Championship Galaxy 1, Hardware 2, All Millennium 3. The only parallel set is the Precious Metal Gems, or as you'll commonly hear the nomenclature, PMGs. Some of you guys know I'm collecting the 97 red PMG set, but this is the 97 Championship Precious Metal Gems. These cards, let me click on it real quick so you can see it. So this is the only parallel in this set. You can't really tell, but let's pull up Tariq Abdul-Wahad. You see these kind of circular... I don't know what you call them, but in modern collecting, this is called scope. This is called like a scope pattern. This is where, Select Scope gets their design. They get their design from these original 97 Metal Universe Championship. I don't think the scope existed before this. I think this is the first time you see it. But this is kind of what gave way to the modern, the ultra modern scope that we see and we talk about today. These Championship PMGs are numbered 1 to 50. It's a really cool, scope background. It's a really cool card. It's a really highly sought after card. Not quite as popular as the 97 PMGs, but half as many. Well, a little bit. It's confusing, but there's 100 reds and greens combined. There's only 50 total Championship PMGs. The cool thing about these is 5 of these were designated as Ultimate Gems Redemptions. And if you happen to pull that card, the company actually, sent, the production company actually sent you, the card manufacturer actually sent you an entire 98 card PMG set. So you can imagine pulling one of those Ultimate Gem Redemption cards and getting, 98 PMGs sent to you. At the time, you're probably like, oh, this is really cool. Right now, it would probably come close to making you a millionaire, depending on the condition of the cards. But anyway, going back to the Galaxy, that's what we're here to talk about today. The Galaxy is I'm going to click on it here. It's a 15-player insert set. Here's the list of the players that are in the set. Most of the insert sets from the 90s were, somewhere between 10 to 20 players. This one's 15 right in the middle. 8 of the 15 are Hall of Fame players. Jordan Iverson, Kobe, Shaq, Kevin Garnett, Rodman, Grant Hill, and Pippen. Galaxy were inserted 1 in 192 packs. Okay, that makes Jordan 15 times 192, a 1 in 2,880 pack pull. Okay, that's a pretty rare card. Again, it's not the jambalaya, and after looking at the jambalaya, we're gonna look at this card like it's a little munchkin card. It's not. It's still a big card, as we're about to see. And so I always like to show you what card I have, so we can proceed from with an element of transparency. Again, I'm not here to hype Jordan cards. I'm here to spread the word about how fantastic they are. When you find something that you really like this T-shirt that I'm wearing, or like Card Ladder, or like PWCC's Vault, I like to share it with people. I don't get compensated. I'm not trying to get compensated. I'm not trying to flip this Championship Galaxy card anytime soon. But this is my card that you can see in my PWCC Vault. There's a picture of the front of it. It looks like he's going over Buck Williams. I'm going to guess that's Buck Williams. I see WIL, and the dude's on the ground trying to take a charge with no chance and not even contesting the shot. So I think that's probably an old Buck Williams who just kind of got in Jordan's way and didn't get all the way over, slide all the way over for the charge. And Jordan's going to get that call all day long. But you can see it's kind of got this metallic with these bolts border here with, kind of like the Milky Way backdrop. And then, of course, at the top it says Championship Galaxy in sort of a sort of a dark greenish blue. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but just a really cool card, especially when it features Jordan in his black jersey. On the back, I always try to read these. I'm going to have to turn my head sideways. It says, the unquestioned leader of one of the greatest NBA teams of all time, Jordan has willed the Bulls to 5 NBA titles. Jordan's mental toughness makes the Bulls difficult to beat. I'd say so. He takes and usually makes all the big shots, leaving opponents beaten and broken. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what the card looks like, the aesthetics of the card. As I mentioned, this is card number 1 of the 15 card set. When we pull it up on Card Ladder, we're going to, obviously we always go through the pop and the prices and things like that. So here's what the card looks like on Card Ladder. For those of you not familiar with Card Ladder, if you want to see all the sales of this card throughout history, you can go, right? You can just start scrolling. You can look at every single time this card has sold in the history, all the way back to, I think it goes back to usually 2004. This one goes back to 2011. So sales upon sales. If you really want to laugh, you can go look, 10 years ago, the card sold for $300. You're about to see what the card sells for today. The numbers just keep getting bigger, which is, generally speaking, over the course of time, kind of a trend that you're going to see with Jordan inserts and parallels from the 90s. But anyway, let's get cranking, and as we always do, I'll pull up this table where I pretty much just aggregate the data from Card Ladder and put it on one digestible graphic for you. So if you've got a phone, take a quick pic of the screen, or if you know how to do the fancy screenshot on your keyboard, screenshot it. That way you have all the data for the PSA 10. And here's one distinction. We got PSA 10, BGS 9.5, PSA 9, and then I went with PSA 8 because that's what Card Ladder had, and there's more of them. So I've got the 3 PSA grades and then the BGS 9.5 gem grade on here. Looking at the screen, what's going to stand out? What are the things that we always like to talk about, or that I always like to talk about, is what is the combined gem population between the 2 big grading companies? And you can see it's 64, 23 PSA 10s, 41 BGS 9.5s. They both graded about the same. 68 graded by PSA 10, 89 graded by BGS 9.5. The gem percentage is actually pretty high. I mean, it's due to the pretty solid quality card stock that these cards have. The last PSA 10 sold for $11,700. The highest it's ever sold for is $16,350 during their peak. This card's only sold one time in PSA 10 condition over the last month. There's been one added since last April. BGS 9.5, the other gem quality copy from BGS. You'll see it's almost a 50% gem grade percentage. That's really high to me. The card is a little bit more than a third of the PSA 10, so there's your ratio. We always like to identify that ratio to look for a potential arbitrage or which one would be the best buy, between PSA and BGS. And, and oftentimes it hinges on how many have been graded by each and what that gem percentage is and how many exist in the wild. So there's a little bit more than half PSA 10s as there are BGS 9.5s. And then, as I always caution you, not all BGS 9.5s are the same. Not all PSA 10s are the same, but BGS 9.5s specifically and especially are not the same due to the price fluctuations that hinge on the subgrades and what those subgrades are. A min gem is drastically different than a gem plus with 2 BGS 10 subgrades, especially if one's centering. So the BGS 9.5 has sold 5 times as many times in the last 6 months. As you can see, 5 times. The card's actually down 27%. If we go back to Card Ladder and we check it out, let's go switch over to the BGS 9.5 and see what's kind of going on here over the last 6 months. The card started at 5,500. And when was that? That was in October, so about 5-6 months ago. And then it spiked up here to 6,900 in December, a couple days after Christmas, when people were drunk and bored and they were bidding on cards they shouldn't have. Somebody made an eggnog purchase right there on eBay, probably. Then the card dropped to 49, 46, and 4,000. For a Pop 41 card, selling 5 times in a 6-month period for a Jordan insert seems like a lot to me. If we take a shot back here, let's go look at the last year. It's down 48% from the last year, because that last one of 7,800 sold right at the end of the 2021 boom. If we look at 2 years, the card's still down 19%. If we look all time, these graphs are always silly, right? It just looks like an absolutely unscalable mountain as usual. It's up 3,000%. in the last 16 years. Not a bad return on your investment. Wouldn't it be nice to have that rickety, rusty Cajun time machine to go back and snag this card? But anyway, take a quick glimpse here. I'm not going to talk too much about your PSA 9s and your PSA 8s. Every one of these pretty much grades an 8, 9, or 10. And there's your gem percentages listed in that column. The question would be, would you rather a BGS 9.5 or would you rather a PSA 9? Me personally, I collect the 9.5s over PSA 9s. That's just me. I don't distinguish or differentiate between PSA 10s and BGS 9.5s. I want either and or both. I do recognize there's a price discrepancy between a 9.5 and a 10, and that discrepancy can be very vast. And if that's the case, I usually try to pick up the 9.5 because it feels like a better investment and I feel better. If I could pick up 3 9.5s for 110, I usually pick up the 9.5. In this case, I just happen to have the PSA 10. Anyway, you can see it looks like since April of last year, 9 have been submitted to PSA, or at least 9. I didn't look at lower PSA grade pop changes, but from 8s, 9s, and 10s, 9 have been submitted. 1 out of those 9 got a PSA 10. So that 34% is more like 11%. A gem rate over the last 9 that have been submitted, which is to be expected because you're now submitting cards that are 25 full years old. These cards are now a quarter century old, fellas. The word vintage usually refers to, cards pre-1980, but when you're talking about some of these Jordan inserts in the 90s, now you're talking about cards that are almost 30 years old. Some of them are 30 years old. So, anyway, there's no BGS 10s. There's no BGS black labels. Thank God. That would break the bank. There are 64 combined gem copies like we talk about, and the combined gem copies I've sold 6 times over the last 6 months. So this is a card you can get your hands on about once a month, maybe a little bit less than once a month on average. If you look at the last year, how many times this card sells on the open market, whether it be on one of the major auction houses or on eBay or MySlabs or whatnot. Remember, obviously, this card probably has been transacted through Facebook and private deals and card shows and things like that. But again, I can't gather all of that data. I am, relegated to using Card Ladder, which is a pretty damn good data source, and the best option available in my opinion. What's on eBay? If I wanted to go pick up a Championship Galaxy Jordan on eBay, here are your options. When I search 97 Metal Championship Galaxy Jordan, I pull up a 9.5 for $6,000, which if we go back and, when we looked at it, that 9.5 is about a $4,000 card last sale. Again, a little bit overpriced. I wouldn't jump on that. It is a buy it now. So Probstein's not taking best offers. Next, we got a $9,800 PSA 9 from Australia. That's definitely out of the question. It does accept offers, but you would need to be, less than half. And I doubt that you're going to get a response or a counter offer. We accidentally pulled up a preview pack. Then we've got a beautiful PSA 10 for the low price of $24,000 and randomly $39. They accept best offers, but they would really need to accept a much lower offer than that. And then you've got a raw version for $5,000, which eBay will probably screw up and not authenticate, and you'll be miserable. So anyway, that's what we get when we search for the card. When we search for sealed boxes of that 1997 Metal Universe Championship, we get 0 results. So maybe I missed it. I don't know. I didn't see any sealed boxes. No sealed boxes pulled up for me. But maybe you'll have some better luck when you search on Friday or in the weeks to come. As we've talked about, I own the PSA 10. I always like to share with you guys whether I'm a buy, a sell, or a hold. I'm obviously a hold. I'm not looking to sell it. I'm not looking to buy it. I collect Michael Jordan inserts and parallels from the 90s. Sometimes I do buy multiple copies to invest and sell at a later date. This is not one of those. It's a high-end card for me. It's over $10,000, so I'm not looking to buy multiple copies of this, obviously. This one is a hold, and it's a long-term hold for what I call Cajun eternity, which is almost like real eternity, like you would look up in the dictionary, but it's a little bit shorter. So Cajun eternity is pretty much the life of me. So I will be holding this card for a pretty long time. It's one of my favorites. It just appealed to me. It just called to me. The 97 Metal Universe and 97 Metal Universe Championship product is just one of my favorites all time, and it's one of the products that I really like to focus on, trying to get as many Jordan inserts and parallels from those sets as I possibly can. I have a long way to go card-wise, but I have an even longer way to go financially if I wanted to pick up some of the other parallels in there, which would include the green PMG, which is, in another galaxy, not to well, you get it. But also the scoped championship PMG from 1997 Metal Universe Championship PMG. Those are probably out of my reach for the foreseeable future. Those are out of my reach for Cajun Eternity. What are these cards? Let's pull up our chart again. PSA 10, it's a high card, right? So I kind of categorize my cards into Grail, which is 20,000 or above, high, which is 10 to 20,000, medium, mid-end is 5,000 to 10,000, and then low end are Michael Jordan cards that are below $5,000. And so the PSA 10 is clearly a high-end card, and I don't think it's coming back below 10,000 anytime soon, probably never. The BGS 9.5 is still just barely a low-end card. There's a chance that the next nice copy of a BGS 9.5, if it's a quad gem or a gem plus, could sell for more than 5,000, and it would creep into that mid-end. And then the PSA 9 and the PSA 8s are both low-end cards, and by low-end, I don't mean not valuable. I mean, clearly they last sold for 3,800 and 2,200. I just mean that's where I kind of group the cards, in comparison to other Jordan inserts and parallels. Compared to most other players' inserts and parallels, these are still very high-end cards by most people's standards. So I don't mean to trivialize the value or the price that needs to be paid to acquire even a PSA 8 or PSA 9 copy. Similar inserts to this Championship Galaxy card. Let's pull them up. Number one, the 1997 Ultra Stars PSA 10. This is not the Ultra Stars Gold, which is going to be $1 trillion. This is the Ultra Stars base. And so there's a picture of that card on your screen. That card's pretty comparable in price. As you can see, it last sold for $10,000 about 2 months ago. I'm actually lucky enough to have this card. I bought this card from a monster collector who is a very good friend of mine in a private deal. So I am a happy owner of this PSA 10 Ultra Stars card as well. The next card to compare it to is the 1997 Upper Deck Records collection. Again, I'm lucky enough to own a PSA 10 copy of this card as well. This card's only a pop 14. It's a shade under 10,000, but my guess is the next one's going to push that 10,000 barrier. That's just my hunch. Again, real tough card to find in great condition because of the black corners and whatnot. And then the third comp card is the 1993 Power in the Key PSA 10, which again, this is just happenstance. I also happen to own this card in a PSA 10 condition as well. One of Jordan's earlier inserts, and foil everywhere, dark colors everywhere. Really tough to take a good clean picture of. That's a little bit higher pop 45. And the last one sold for $7,600. But if you look at that Power in the Key over the last 2 years, this card's kind of pushed $10,000, $9,000. The last one was a little bit cheaper. So anyway, those are the three cards to compare it to. Which cards would you want out of those four? We're talking about our Championship Galaxy PSA 10. We're talking about our Ultra Stars PSA 10, our Records Collection PSA 10, or the Power in the Key PSA 10. Let me know what order you would like. My personal order, and it's not going to be an exact pop order, which is, if you guys know me, I don't always choose cards just based on the lowest pop. My personal order would be the Championship Galaxy that we're featuring today in episode 21 first, Records Collection second, Power in the Key third, and Ultra Stars fourth. That would be my personal order, but let me know in the comments what your personal order would be, as far as those four cards go, if you had to make a choice. Anyway, I give this card, our Championship Galaxy, that's the feature of our episode number 21. I put this card as a 7 out of 10. It emanates from a really important set from right in the, that peak fantastic 96, 97, 98 era, or 97, 98 era of Jordan inserts and parallels, which just features so many absolute monster cards. And it comes from the Metal Universe Championship, which is not quite Metal Universe, but it's damn close as far as quality and scarcity and demand. And so I give this card a 7 out of 10 on the Cajun cardboard Michael Jordan insert scale of relevance. I can never say that. I need to change the name of that thing. Not that I don't even know if anybody cares in the comments, but I say this is 7 out of 10 on how important it is to have it in your collection if you want to try to put together a monster Jordan collection. But let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks to Trading Card Database, thanks to PWCC Vault, thanks to Card Ladder, thanks to Homage for the badass shirt. I'm really happy to get these. I just got them in the mail today. Everything was smooth sailing. I think from the time I ordered 100 shirts to the time they just came and were delivered to my office, I think it might have been barely, not even 3 weeks, probably 14 to maybe 14, 15 days, not business days, just calendar days. So highly recommend them. Let me know, you guys, what you think. If there's anything I'm leaving out as far as data or information or interesting stuff about any of these cards that I'm talking about in these episodes of Explore the Card, please let me know. I'm always looking to get better. I always appreciate your comments. Just try to keep it nice because like I end every episode with, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby. Stay positive in the hobby, and peace.